Hi, we're Bruce.
And Cheryl.
We moved from California to get away from the hustle
And bustle.
of a fast-paced lifestyle,
And a not-so-perfect political climate.
to enjoy a slower speed
Better values.
and a rich Christian atmosphere. Join us as we discover our new environment, rebuild our new-to-us home on 2.5 acres,
And enjoy the scenic southern landscape of central western Georgia.
Good afternoon. Well, I would have been morning. I would have started this in the morning, but my selfie stick, no excuses, but my selfie stick didn't have enough juice. And so I just went ahead and got started with things. This morning I had to get up and go to Home Depot because, you know what? I don't even know if I've even got this. I just took some pictures last night. Let me show you what progress we've made, which, I mean, I know that the drywall is not done, but look at that corner. No, I'm just kidding. So, see that standing panel right there? You guys know we've got the pantry, but now we also have the other lowers. And I don't remember if I've done any videoing with this camera, with this kind of angle, with this kind of information. So here's the deal. So last night after Bible study, we went to Home Depot because I had ordered these skins for my cabinets, my lowers, because you look at the side of this cabinet, you see that it's all bare, right? So you got to skin the one side. They do that because they don't know what orientation you're going to do. And I'll give you an example. So the fact that I've got that skinny cabinet next to a lower that's shorter, I don't have to skin the whole side of this. I only need to skin from here up, which the lower half of a side skin, this piece that comes off, that I'll cut off of here, I can use right here on the end of that panel. But I've got others. So we're starting to get our lowers in place. I came in yesterday and I finished sanding the floor in these areas where the cabinets are going, and then I put a good thick coat of paint, of this sealer paint, on that subfloor and sealed that whole area where these cabinets are going to go. And obviously you can see the white areas still need to be done, so I'll come back and roll those on after I get the rest of this floor coated and sanded. Obviously this area has been sanded, this area has not, right? And that's how I get coated with drywall mud. The drywall mud basically just fills in the voids between the oriented strands on this OSB, so that when I put the paint down, it's a smooth surface, not a rough and bumpy surface. To give you an idea, you can kind of see this area right here versus this area right over here. This area right over here, I've put the drywall mud and sanded it, and it's smoother than that area right there. But I hand painted that with a paintbrush and made sure that I got it down into all those grooves and sealed it well. Same with that line right there that you can see. I globbed that stuff down in there really good so it's well sealed. I might even come back and hit some other spots that look like a little opening is there. But I also coated really good right along the bottom plate so that it's sealed all the way up to that crack. And so anyways, we've got these lower cabinets. As you can see, I've got an end cap right here setting there. It says back because this is the back side of it. But these things are, well, let me pull this off and see if it's still, it's not bad. So it had a little bit of a hump in it. So I oriented like this, put these weights on them to help get rid of that bow, because that is the back side and it wants to do this and I need it flat. So I'm going to put these on with contact cement and then a few brad nails here and there. Of course, the bottom cord, so as you can see the island group right here, right? So this whole side has to be done, right? And the bottom cord down there will get baseboard. So that'll hide. The upper portion of these though, will just get a little trim strip across there. Anyway, enough of my ranting. So this is what we've been working on. I showed you the other day that I come in here and I textured the ceiling. I think I did anyway. So I went through and I hand applied with a sponge drywall mud to the ceiling with a special sponge. And then I knocked it down to get that effect. And to give you an idea, this is an area that hasn't been primed yet. So what you're looking at over here, that's all primed. I also finished the closet good enough, and then I came in and primed it. Then I came back, and this is the color that we picked, our main body color for the house. And I painted the closet, although I caught this morning. I missed a little corner down there. Oops. That's okay, I can hand touch that up. Then I went ahead and cut my cleats. So there's my cleats. And you're probably wondering why there's two cleats that close together. Well, because I don't have a stud in the middle of the wall to carry the pole. But I had a stud on either side of center. So I'm going to put a closet bracket here and here to make up for that. Here's my shelf. Already cut and trimmed, and I just painted, I just primered one side of it. I've got to come back and primer the other side. I got to flip it over when it's dry, primer it while I'm in the middle of primering the ceiling in here. So this is the primary room that we want to get done, and then I'm going to store some stuff in there. And so I will come back to this. It's just after lunchtime. I'm going to go eat some lunch, and then I'll come back. All right, I told you guys I'd come back and tell you more about what's going on. Well, let me just show you. We're in the guest bedroom, and there's the closet. Shelf and pole. Everything ready. So, ceiling all cut in and all primered. So after much debate, going back and forth about what color to paint the ceiling, as you notice, it's I don't know how this translates in the video, but it's kind of a blue-gray color because that's the color of the primer. We're going to go with, after much debate, dead flat white ceiling paint. I don't know if any of y'all know this, if you ever heard this before, but if you don't get your ceilings perfect, if there's any kind of abnormalities with your ceiling at all, stupid wind right now, boy, I'll tell you, we got wind blowing because there's a storm coming, and it's slamming my door back and forth, so I got to try and prop it so it stops banging around. Anyway, so if you have any abnormalities at all with your ceiling and you put any kind of a sheen, even just a regular flat paint, will show or can show imperfections, abnormalities. And although I would like to paint the ceiling with a nice color, white really is a good contrast to anything. And we talked about putting, painting the ceilings the same color as the body, which we've done before in houses. In this particular house, and with these rooms being the size that they are, I'm afraid that if we painted the whole room that color, including the ceiling, it would be a dark room, which the darker the room, the smaller it gets. The lighter the color, the bigger the room seems. So we're gonna do a dead flat white on the ceiling in here. And then we've got an accent color on this wall, which is gonna be a blue. It's the same blue, actually, for the most part, as that cabinet right over there in the corner. That bathroom cabinet is kind of sea blue, or it's not quite a nautical blue. That's not the word I'm looking for. There's a term for the blue. Navy. It's not navy blue, but it's really close, right? So that's going to be the accent color on the wall. That's going to be the cabinet in the bathroom here. We're also going to do the ceiling in here in that blue, which means that I've really got to make this ceiling flat and smooth, because any abnormalities are going to stand out like a you-know-what in a punch bowl. And I don't want that on my ceiling. I'm not going for imperfect smooth. We're going for perfect smooth. Level 5, level 6, whatever. The nice thing is I don't have to worry about going level 5 on the walls above that height, because we're doing the wainscot in here. So the lower portion is going to be wainscot. So we'll see how it comes out. But before I started putting clothes inside the closet, which is the reason why I spent all this time getting that done, because I'm tired of dealing with these, if you haven't seen them, these wardrobes that are all getting all cattywampus and have a hard time moving them around. They're getting ready to fall over and they're in the way. I mean, look at that. It literally takes the entire center of the room. So we're moving all the clothes out of those into here. So let's get her done. Start moving these clothes.
Oh, I don't want to step on this and bend it or break my neck.
Yeah, just don't break your neck.
I feel like I'm a broken wreck as it is.
So I'm putting yours
On the other end?
on this side.
On this end?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me go get your, I think I know where your knife is. I think it's right over there.
I'll go get it. These things have been a pain in the ass from day one. So there you go. That's all of our clothes that we brought with us. They were in our RV, and there's even more in the RV. But we got a lot of stuff to go through. So there's a closet done.
Hi, Sonny.
Without the doors. I got a
Hi.
secret coming up that I'm going to share with you guys. I haven't shared with you yet about my closet doors. Thank you, Al and Gina, for giving me an idea. So, just got to tear apart these frames, and then my room is back, which means then I can take all of this appliance stuff in the middle of the room right here and put it back out of the way, so I can start utilizing this space to finish the rest of the stuff that has to be done. And Mom is out here messing with stuff. Oh, she's trying to put away the garment bags. I'm going to throw those away. Good job. Sunshine, where's the mouse? Get the mouse.
Probably back in that corner.
Do your job. You lackey. Well,
He's
you
like,
know,
well-
if you're not doing your job, that makes you a lackey. You know what I'm saying? All right, good evening. And one of my favorite things to do, start at the trailer and work my way out. Usually I do this in the morning. Say usually. When have I ever got up and did anything in the morning, right? But let me take you inside and show you what's going on. It is evening. It's obviously by the video quality you can tell it's pretty dark. All right, so I've been doing a little bit of cleanup, trying to get some things done from what's shown up. So we had our cabinets, our lowers show up a few days ago, and I started doing a little bit of haphazard installation of that while I was working on the drywall and working on the floor. And then the uppers showed up today, and all but one. So I'm still missing one upper bridge and two lower 9-inch cabinets to go on either side of the stove. So it's kind of putting a kibosh on completing the install of the cabinets, but I've been working on trying to get some things straightened out. One of the things is trying to clean up the garage. Let me show you. So just one of the first things observed is the stack right there of Durock, which is basically a cement board, lightweight cement board that'll go in the shower. I just moved that over to the deck to get it out of the way because that showed up Saturday. Today's Monday. And then I've basically been cleaning stuff out, moving stuff around to kind of open up the garage. So I've got some tools and stuff I've got to put away in the trailer. And I've got some garbage that has to go, like all of that cardboard right there, this cardboard mess here, and that drywall. If I'm not able to use any of that, which I might be able to use some of it on that last sheet right there. But for the most part, just kind of cleaning up the garage to make it accessible so that I can leave it open. Like I've said before in previous videos, that whole back wall has to come out, and this whole C-shaped support structure, back wall, the metal portion all has to be lifted up to raise these trusses, and it's going to leave the garage exposed. So I'm getting it cleaned up so I can get everything out of it that's, you know, I don't want to walk off. Anyway, and not much has changed out here. The same amount of drywall has been done. I've just moved some stuff around. I got some parts though, so I don't know if I mentioned, but when we had our last really cold snap, this valve assembly here had a little plastic escutcheon on there, and the lines were all charged, meaning they were full of water. And we got the cold snap, it's 15 degrees, the lines froze. The PEX had no problem, but the little plastic cap on that valve did. It expanded, it broke, it gushed water when it thawed out while we were gone. Sorry for the noise, the fan's running because I've been working on the floor, and as you can see, I got another big section of the floor done, you know, here, and got it all the way around so that I can get the cabinets installed. And I'm now working on getting the rest of this filled with, this is all Bondo. So when I come back, once this is dry, I come back and sand the Bondo, and then I coat everything with a thin layer of drywall mud. and that fills in. So if you look at this floor and see how basically smooth it looks, and then compare that with this floor in here, you can kind of see, this one's not as bad as some of the other, like the bedroom, but you can kind of see the divots in the OSB, the oriented strand. It's not a flat surface by any stretch of the imagination. So the drywall basically fills in all those voids and makes a smooth flat surface so it looks more like this. And this seals it. This is a deck over paint. It's kind of expensive, but it'll actually seal it so that any moisture that gets underneath my floor, which is a floating floor, it won't soak into the subfloor and destroy it, at least not right away. It'll take some time to get through, and hopefully it'll evaporate before that happens. So as you can see, this lower right here is sitting in place, but it's not attached. I got my side panel here that'll finish that off. So like I said, I'm missing my 9. There's a 9-inch cabinet goes here, a 9-inch cabinet goes here. But my Lazy Susan, my sink cabinet, what will be my trash can cabinet, basically that door is off. I'm going to turn that space into a pull-out trash can and attach the door to the front of it. So that'll be my trash can. It'll have a drawer on top, which is kind of cool, next to the sink. Then we'll have our dishwasher. And then we have an 18-inch wide drawer cabinet. And then I'm waiting on this 30-inch upper that goes here. I've got my 36-inch upper for the refrigerator. So it's going to be a 30, then a 36. So 66-inch bridge, basically, that runs across to finish off the uppers. So I got my 24 here. Like I said before in a previous video, that I was waiting to get these cabinets installed. So I got my corner, my 9, and my 18. I've got them all attached and set in place, locked in. That determines my distance from the cabinet to the window. So then when I put this one up, I set the same distance, and that's where my bridge starts, and that'll hold my microwave. And then the other bridge is just over the refrigerator. Still have to figure out, once I get the microwave installed, whether or not I'm going to have to panel the side of this and do something, to finish it off. We'll see what it looks like. The refrigerator is not going to be moved often, but when it gets moved, do I want it to look like that? I don't know. So this also determines now my distance from this cabinet to where the 30-inch line is for the stove. What will make a difference, though, is when this 9-inch goes in, will that actually wind up being where that line is drawn on the wall? If it is, then I already know what my distance is from my side, side of this cabinet to where my hood will be. I'll match that same distance from the hood to the next upper, and I've got an 18 and a 24 that go here. And then the 30-inch space will be delineated by putting the other 9-inch cabinet here and giving my 30-inch space, and that tells me where this 24 is going to end up. That's why it's not attached yet. So I haven't done a whole lot of drywall, which I should have been doing, but we did come in to this guest bedroom and we got the ceiling primered. So it's been textured and primered. And of course the closet behind me, you saw that. I got my closet pull up. We transferred our clothes out of those wardrobes into the closet, and then I covered it over with plastic to try to protect it from the dust. So this room is basically the emphasis over the next couple of days to skim this back out, fill in all the little divots and issues. I need to go to Home Depot. I got myself one of those corner trowels. Check this out. So I got a corner trowel, and I got one of those loop like a Velcro mat, which is the bottom end of a round sander. And it's a mat that you put on there to cushion it on your normal sander so that you get more of a cushion surface. I think that's the purpose of that piece. But I went ahead and glued it to this so I can attach sandpaper, and this will make a great sander for the corners. But I need another one of those to coat the corners because it'll build out that drywall mud nice and rounded into the corner. And then once it dries, I go back over it with that one with the sander on it and sand it down, and I should get some pretty clean corners. We'll see how that works. But so I do need to get that so I can finish these corners in here. And then of course I've got the bedroom or the office across the way here, which has become it's a dark space because there's no lights in here right now, but it's become my junk room. Saws set up in here for doing stuff. The appliances are sitting in here. Materials are sitting in here. Tools are sitting in here. The other one that I need to concentrate on is the bathroom in here. I'm about halfway on the ceiling, and I'm about a third of the way on the walls to get that room done. Of course, I only have to do the upper half because the lower half is getting wainscot. And like I said, I got a lot of drywall work to do out here in the main room, but I got sidetracked with these cabinets showed up, and I'm not too concerned about getting the cabinets up with the drywall not being done there because most of that's covered by cabinets, and what's not covered by cabinets, this helps me delineate what areas I actually have to apply mud and where I have to sand and stuff. And then I got to do the ceiling in here. The ceiling in here is going to be a chore. But the ceiling, I'm going to texture. But since I don't have a hopper and they don't sell texture mud, but I do have to fill, I have to run all these seams first before I can start doing that. And so there's a lot of that to do in here. And I know I'm rambling. This is pretty much how I've been putting together my videos, unfortunately. I'm going to go eat dinner. It's that time of the night. I'll come back out here after dinner, close everything up, turn the fan, thank you. Turn the fan off and button things up and call it a night. And then we'll hit it again in the morning. I'll do my best to set up a camera so you can see whatever I'm working on, but primarily I'm just going to be working on this floor and doing some drywall mud in that bedroom. So we'll pick it up in the morning. I'll see you then.
Guide me there, whispered dreams.